Hi there, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about blue green fusion, blue collar jobs, green economy. That was my old introduction to my old webcast. I started on YouTube about 6 years ago, and my webcast was called Blue Green Fusion. They're the old videos that you see on my channel. And basically, it was blue collar jobs, green economy. Very much involved with talking about solar energy, wind energy, organic food supply, things like this. 6 years later, I'm still at it. I'm still very much involved with the public affairs, public policy aspects of bringing our nation forward, making some changes for the better for everyone. But not really am I talking about that. This video is mostly concerning making a case for industrial scale renewable energy transformation, why it's necessary. There's an article at Food and Water Watch, and it's titled Fracking Causes Earthquakes, period. And basically, they're saying that it's already known that fracking waste disposal causes tremors and water and soil and air contamination, as Maryland, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia can testify to. But now there is the case being made that fracking also causes seismic activity to the scale known as earthquakes. Fracking causes earthquakes, and they're now called frackquakes. So it's a clear and present danger, not only in terms of the pollution that results in the surrounding environment, but also the seismic activity and earthquake and tremors that it causes. And so the University of Calgary did a study, and they reaffirmed that cracking can trigger stress changes or pore pressure changes due to fluid diffusion along a permeable fault zone, resulting in earthquakes. And so seismological research letters studied the link between fracking to most of the induced seismicity in Western Canada. And they also claim that British Columbia also suffered two earthquakes large enough to be felt in Blackpool, England, and another one that was large enough to be felt in Garvin County, Oklahoma. And so they're saying that seismological research letters found that fracking was likely the culprit of about 400 small tremors from October to December in 2013. And there were frack quakes in Ohio, and then there's been plenty of frack quakes in Oklahoma. Just September 3rd of this past year, the state had its largest ever recorded earthquake. It was 5.8 magnitude. And just this month, which is November at the time of the writing of this article, the state experienced a 5.0 magnitude earthquake in a major oil hub that's home to massive oil storage facility. This is Cushing, Oklahoma. I'll leave a link to this article in the description, and you can read it for yourself and see if you see for yourself the clear link between fracking and the harm that it causes communities near and far along those fault lines. There's another article at Food and Water Watch, local resolutions against fracking. So you can read those that article, the previous article, and see the danger that fracking causes. And then you can come to this new article, local resolutions against fracking, to see what people are doing about it. Fracking has been promoted all around the world, and then also all around the United States, because people want the money. They want the profit that fracking brings. But there is resistance, local resistance to fracking. People are fighting back to save their lives and save their communities and protect their health. And there's a list here. You can see which cities, towns, villages, and counties have passed measures against fracking. There's also a toolkit located at this website if you in your own community want to initiate steps to pass resolutions against fracking. Already in certain states, I'll name them off, and then when you come to this website, you can see which cities underneath these states have passed the resolutions. So California, Colorado, Connecticut, District of Columbia, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana. There are indigenous places that have passed bans or resolutions against fracking. I don't see Standing Rock, territory, but according to what I've read, they did pass resolution. I think it was Dave Archambault who said that Standing Rock passed resolutions against fracking in 2012, and so perhaps they should be listed here. For right now, I see Cherokee, Haudenosaunee, and then Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa. Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, and it looks like practically every city in New York. North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Texas, Vermont, Virginia, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Individual cities in these states and areas have passed bans against fracking. Red state, blue state, it doesn't matter. It's people who just do not want this dangerous practice in their communities, and they've taken steps to protect themselves. And so I'm going to leave those links, and then I'm going to go on to another website. It's called Take Part. North Dakota's oil spill record, 85 pipeline accidents in 20 years. And so it's saying that a new study finds that Standing Rock protesters' concerns about the DAPL pipeline are well founded. This is by David Kirby. And so an analysis released Wednesday by the Center for Biological Diversity found that pipelines in North Dakota have spilled crude oil and other hazardous liquids at least 85 times since 1996. And so the concerns about the pipeline are well founded based on recent history. And so the spills average out to 4 per year. They've caused more than $40 million in property damage. And they've cited data from the United States Department of Transportation. In the largest accident, and this was in July 2013, about 840,000 gallons of crude oil spilled from a pipeline in Tioga, North Dakota. It contaminated a wheat field. The spill, which was not reported for 2 weeks, cost $17.5 million to clean up. And so the concerns are real, not to be dismissed. I'll leave a link in this description for you to read through and see for yourself the dangers associated with the fossil fuel industry, the extraction of these energy products. And then I'm going to go on to an article at fortune.com. This is actually from January of 2015. And it says in the U.S., there are twice as many solar workers as coal miners. And that's interesting. I've done many shows, past and present, on the Green New Deal and how these new types of jobs, these new industries can replace the old industries that have come to the forefront of concern about the harm they cause physically to the workers and to the surrounding community and the environment. And so this is about Solar City, the largest installer of residential solar systems in the United States. This article says that Solar City nearly doubled its workforce last year, hiring 4,000 people to do everything from system design and site surveys to installation and engineering. And so they're saying that the hiring isn't slowing, it's continuing. They anticipate quite a bit more hiring in the future. There's a video here explaining what Solar City is about. And they're saying that the company's expansion is indicative of what's happening within the broader solar industry. And so they're saying that more than 31,000 new solar jobs were created in the United States in 2014, bringing the total to 173,000. And this is according to a report released by the Solar Foundation. And so the solar industry is still dwarfed by the 9.8 million workers that the American petroleum industry says are employed by oil and gas. However, the solar industry, the Solar Foundation, points out that this industry is starting to surpass some fossil fuel related job categories. And so this article says that solar already employs more people than coal mining, which has 93,000 workers and has added 50% more jobs in 2014 than the oil and gas construction industry and the crude petroleum and natural gas extraction industry did combine. And so they're saying that 1 out of 78 new jobs created in the United States over the past 12 months were created by the solar industry. And so there is a growing industry in red states, blue states, but mostly red states. Iowa, Texas, Arizona, and then blue states like, in Florida, and then blue states like California, Rhode Island. It is actually growing as trends indicate the dangers of fossil fuel extraction. There's renewed focus on renewable energy, an opportune time to transform and use past skill sets for new endeavors. It can be done, and it is being done here and there across the United States. It would be nice to see this on an industrial scale on a nationwide level, applied to infrastructure, to agriculture, across the board, building a new future in the United States. I'd like to see it happen. It can happen, I think. Real men seem to think that if you're not breathing in coal dust, then it's not a real job. But I'm thinking, you know what? Real men make sure that their wives and their children have clean water, fresh air, and clean food to eat, healthy food to eat. And so, let's get the real men and women and on the front lines for renewable energy, a new way of thinking, transforming our economy. It can be done. Good luck.